The world map we know today bears little resemblance to the one drawn even 200 years ago. Back then, 3 continents were ruled by just one empire. But where did they come from and why did they fall? This is the Ottoman Empire, a story of ambition, resilience, and transformation. This is part 11 of our series, where each week we bring you an in-depth look at the rise and fall of ancient civilizations. From the cradle of civilization to the Silk Road and beyond, join us as we travel back in time to uncover the secrets of our past. Before we begin, remember to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss an exciting episode. In the heart of Anatolia, amidst the rolling hills and fertile plains, a small Anatolian tribe emerged onto the stage of history around the late 13th century. The tribe was known as the Ottomans, and their leader, Osman Firfand, laid the foundation for what would become a sprawling empire that dominated for centuries. Their strategic location between Europe and Asia provided a launching pad for expansion. By the early 1400s, under the reign of Murad I, the Ottomans had grown from a small beylik or principality to a formidable force. Murad's conquest pushed the empire's borders further, setting the stage for the next ruler to take the empire to new heights. Enter Mehmed II, a young and ambitious leader who ascended to the throne at the age of 21. With a thirst for power and glory, Mehmed set his sights on the jewel of the Byzantine Empire, the city of Constantinople. The year 1453, the Ottoman army laid siege to the city, utilizing innovative military tactics and advanced weaponry, including the use of gunpowder weapons and a massive cannon named Moses. After a relentless assault, the Byzantine forces finally fell, marking the end of the Eastern Roman or Byzantine Empire, which had stood for over 1,000 years. Mehmed's conquest of Constantinople was not just a military victory, it was a pivotal moment that reshaped the course of history. The capture of the city, which he renamed Istanbul, transformed the political, cultural, and religious landscape of the region. The Ottomans, previously viewed as upstarts, were now seen as the heirs of Rome. This shift in perception brought prestige and legitimacy to the empire, bolstering Mehmed's claim to rule over the Christian world. In fact, Mehmed went so far as to style himself as the new Caesar. But why was conquering this city so important for the Ottomans? Constantinople, formerly Byzantium, was strategically located at the crossroads between Europe and Asia, controlling the entrance to the Black Sea and the Sea of Marmara. Its capture gave the Ottomans control of vital trade routes connecting the East and the West, making it a hub for merchants and a source of wealth. This strategic advantage contributed significantly to the growth and prosperity of the Ottoman Empire. Additionally, Constantinople, with its rich history and cultural heritage, became the new capital of the Ottoman Empire. It was renamed Istanbul and served as the seat of the Sultan's power. The city's grandeur and magnificence impressed many who witnessed it. The timing of Mehmed's conquest coincided with the weakening of European powers. The Black Death had ravaged Europe, decimating populations and disrupting trade. Many European kingdoms were still recovering, making it easier for Mehmed to challenge the status quo and carve out his empire's dominance. With the fall of Constantinople, the balance of power in the Mediterranean shifted dramatically. The Ottoman Empire, once a small Anatolian state, had emerged as a major player on the world stage. This marked the beginning of the empire's trajectory toward becoming a dominant force in Europe, Asia, and North Africa. Throughout the 15th and 16th centuries, the Ottomans continued to expand their dominion, driven by a combination of military prowess, strategic alliances, and the ambitions of their sultans. The empire reached its peak under the rule of Suleiman the Magnificent in the 16th century. During his reign, the Ottomans extended their territory into Central Europe, Hungary, and the Middle East. Suleiman also implemented significant legal and administrative reforms, contributing to the empire's stability and prosperity. His era is often referred to as the golden age of the Ottomans due to the flourishing of arts and culture. Suleiman's empire stretched across 3 continents, encompassing modern-day Turkey, Greece, the Middle East, and parts of Eastern Europe. This vast realm was a tapestry woven from diverse cultures, ethnicities, and religions. The empire's reach into Europe was particularly significant. Cities like Belgrade and Vienna became part of Ottoman territories, exposing the heart of Europe to the influence of the empire. Similarly, the Ottomans' presence in North Africa extended to regions like Egypt and the Maghreb, underscoring their dominion over key areas along the Mediterranean. Yet despite this apparent unity, the empire's internal composition was far from homogeneous. The Ottoman Empire was a mosaic of different peoples bound together under the rule of the Sultan. The Sultan held both political and religious authority as the Caliph, the spiritual leader of Islam. But what held this diverse empire together? The answer lay in the empire's policies of religious tolerance and skilled administration. The empire was predominantly Muslim, but it encompassed various religious communities, including Christians and Jews. These communities were allowed to practice their faiths relatively freely under the empire's millet system. Each millet was self-governing, paying taxes to the state and contributing to a complex administrative structure that kept the vast empire functioning. The Sultanate also benefited from the loyalty of non-Muslim subjects, who often served in administrative roles, bridging the gap between the ruling class and the diverse populace. However, the empire's strength wasn't solely built on religious policies. Military prowess was another crucial pillar. The Janissaries, an elite infantry unit composed of Christian youths converted to Islam, played a significant role in the Ottoman victories. Their loyalty to the Sultan and military efficiency made them instrumental in expanding and defending the empire. The Janissaries represented a unique aspect of the empire's makeup, showcasing the Ottomans' ability to integrate diverse elements into a cohesive whole. And while the empire thrived, there were signs of trouble brewing beneath the surface. Succession disputes, corruption, and palace intrigues posed constant challenges to the empire's stability. The further the empire stretched, the more difficult it became to govern effectively. Managing such a vast and varied domain required an efficient bureaucracy, something the Ottoman Empire struggled to maintain. In spite of these issues, the Ottoman Empire continued to flourish for centuries. The empire's economic prosperity during the 16th and 17th centuries was tied to trade networks that connected Europe, Asia, and Africa. Istanbul, the vibrant capital, became a hub for merchants and traders seeking valuable goods from spices to textiles and precious metals. The empire's control over key trade routes brought wealth and exotic products to its markets, contributing to its economic vibrancy. Moreover, the empire's territorial expansion brought diverse resources under its control. The Ottoman conquest of Egypt, for example, gave them access to agricultural wealth and strategic trade routes. Similar patterns were seen in their holdings in the Caucasus and the Middle East, enriching the empire through diverse natural resources. However, the seeds of decline were sown during this very period. The empire's growing size and the increased focus on trade and commerce gradually shifted the Ottoman economy away from agriculture. This shift had consequences. A more commercialized economy made the empire vulnerable to fluctuations in trade and susceptible to external economic pressures. As European powers grew stronger and began exploring new trade routes, the Ottomans found themselves at a disadvantage. By the late 17th century, the empire's fortunes began to turn. Military defeats against European powers marked a significant shift. The Battle of Karansebes in 1699 was a turning point. The defeat exposed the empire's military vulnerabilities and signaled the beginning of its territorial losses. Over the following decades, the Ottomans lost substantial parts of their Balkan holdings to Russia and Austria. This marked the beginning of a long process of decline. Contributing to this decline was a growing challenge from within. Nationalism was on the rise among the diverse groups within the empire. For instance, the Greeks and Serbs and Bulgarians, once subjects of the Ottoman rule, started asserting their own identities, aiming for autonomy or independence. This growing sense of nationalism challenged the empire's unity and laid the foundation for future conflicts. Despite these internal challenges, the Ottoman Empire continued to endure. Throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, it navigated shifting global dynamics, including encounters with European colonialism. The empire's response to these challenges led to periods of both adaptation and resistance. The Tanzimat reforms in the mid-19th century were a significant effort to modernize the empire and compete with European powers. However, as the 20th century approached, the empire found itself caught in the crossfire of competing global interests. World War I became the catalyst for its final chapter. The Ottoman decision to join the war on the side of the Central Powers had profound consequences. After their involvement in the conflict, the empire was dismantled, its territories divided among the victors. After World War I, the Ottoman Empire, once a behemoth of world history, ceased to exist. The victorious Allied powers, primarily Britain and France, carved up its territories, disregarding the empire's borders and the rights of its people. The Treaty of Seville in 1920 officially dissolved the empire, marking the end of over 6 centuries of Ottoman rule. Amidst this upheaval, a Turkish military officer, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, emerged as a leader of the Turkish nationalist movement. He led a successful war of independence against the occupying forces, ultimately establishing the modern Republic of Turkey in 1923. Under Atatürk's leadership, the new Turkish state adopted sweeping reforms, embracing Western models of governance, education, and culture. This marked a decisive break from the traditions of the Ottoman past. In the annals of history, the Ottoman Empire stands as a testament to the ambition, adaptability, and impact of one of the longest-lasting empires in world history. Despite its ultimate demise, its legacy continues to resonate in the cultural landscape of many nations, reminding us of a time when Istanbul was Constantinople and a small Anatolian tribe ruled 3 continents. We hope you enjoyed this comprehensive look at one of history's most influential civilizations. To delve deeper into ancient cultures and civilizations, be sure to check out our other videos. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join our community of history enthusiasts. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the fascinating world of history.